Hi, thanks so much for watching. So, we have got full moon actually on the day I'm putting this video out, which is the 20th of October 2021. The full moon is happening at 7:56 a.m. Pacific. So, if you're watching on that side of the States and Canada, you will already have experienced it. Probably if you're up early enough. So 10:56 a.m. on the East Coast. Here in UK, it's not until 4 minutes to 4 p.m. So a bit later in the day here, and it hasn't actually happened yet. Now, is it a blood moon? I would strongly suggest that it isn't, my friends. I've got a picture of a blood moon there so we can look at it rather resplendent as it is. The next blood moon I can find scheduled, I've looked it up all over the place, the next blood moon that I can find scheduled is going to be on November the 19th, 2021. And that's actually going to be a lunar eclipse as well at 27 degrees of Taurus and 14 minutes. I wonder why people want to call it a blood moon. I'm afraid I suspect it's clickbait, to be quite honest. You're much more likely to get your posts viewed and kind of your videos clicked on and stuff if you call it a blood moon. And I admit I kind of slipped it into the title there, partly for that reason, because I'm always trying to grow the channel. So do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because there are more videos coming up all the time. What this moon is, though, that we're experiencing today is what we call the hunter moon, and this comes from the Native American tradition because the October full moon was the time to really make sure you were gathering up enough meat for the winter, because after that, you know, the animals wouldn't be so easy to find, wouldn't be so easy to come by, and you'd need to make sure you were stocked up on food. And in many ways, in the modern view of things, I'm going to call this the prepper moon, because when I started reading that, I was really glad that I've made some preparations and I've got some food put away just in case of hard times, just in case of crazy things coming up, which they might very well do, actually, looking at the world situation at the moment. So it's the hunter moon. You could call it the prepper moon. I don't think anybody else is actually, but I am. And so this one is really very positive for full moon, actually. It's all about final success, really, in terms of, you know, we all go through life trying to succeed at things from time to time. Sometimes we give up, sometimes we lie low, but no matter, we go through life trying to make stuff happen, trying to make it good, and final success is really what it's looking like as we come into this full moon in October 2021. And this one is, let me see, it's opposite Mars and it's square Pluto. So those are the main aspects it's making. It's also actually making a very positive aspect with a fixed star, which I shall come to in just a moment. But basically, the astrology of this full moon relates closely to controlling an intense desire for power and control, to try and achieve your passionate desires. Now, the more you can kind of control the basic instincts, the basic urges to be looking for those things in your life, the more likely they are to come into being. It's one of those ironic things. But this is happening at 27 degrees of Aries, 26 minutes, 27 degrees, 26 minutes of Aries, opposite Mars, square Pluto, and the aspect orbs aren't all that close, really, but they are still a strong influence, and certainly the most important influence on this full moon. And it's because the excuse me, it's because the orb for Mars square Pluto is actually only 1 degree. Where any full moon is the sun opposite the moon, and it brings home, it brings family, intimate relationships, things like that, more closely into focus. And of course, in any moon cycle, once we get past the full moon, we get into third quarter. The full moon is the end of the second quarter. We come into the third quarter, the waning moon, and that does throw our thoughts into home, hearth, whatever it is that we kind of have for our whole life that supports us in our working life or whatever else we're trying to do out there in the world. This is all about kind of focusing inwards and focusing on the family. Now, this full moon being opposite Mars gives us a strong urge to have our desires fulfilled, our most passionate desires, actually. And it would be very easy to start feeling a bit hopeless about things if things haven't been working out. But at the same time, friends, I do think we're actually going to see some positive achievements happening around this time. In fact, I'm already aware of friends of mine having that already. One of my lights has gone out. Excuse me a minute. That's better. Sometimes I set my lights up and like the plug is like half out of the socket and it just popped out there. So that kind of got in the way of my desire to make this video, but there we go. I have overcome it. That's how easy it can be, really. So anyway, very good chance of having our strongest desires fulfilled. It is all about fulfillment this moon. But at the same time, there's a moodiness, there's an impulsiveness, there is an anger when we get a full moon opposite Mars, and that can get in the way of our goals. Also a risk of sort of minor irritations turning into arguments, maybe even abuse, I hate to say it, conflict, the chance to hurt ourselves and others, and that's what we really want to avoid in this life. Let's face it, sometimes it seems like someone deserves our anger, sometimes it seems like someone really needs to be put in their place and sorted out. But imagine life as if you were running a business, you know. I mean, if you've ever had a rant at Amazon, you'll have been glad a bit further down the line that they didn't sort of kick you off Amazon and you can still buy stuff from there. I'm not sure it helps humanity to buy stuff from Amazon, but you know what I'm saying. It's good to try and manage your life as well as you can and to avoid any hostilities, you know. Now, to do that, you can channel your energy towards hard work, towards constructive competition, because this is a really good time to fight for a just cause, a good cause, or to defend vulnerable people as well. It's a great time for that. If you're personally in danger, this full moon could easily trigger the fight or flight response, which is never the most positive way to deal with anything. And it does bring an opportunity to leave any dangerous relationship or environment. I'm always telling people it's good to get away from what no longer serves you, what no longer suits you, what no longer works for you. But I mean, that's always a good thing to do, because the past is old news, and what you want to do is always see today as the first day of the rest of your life and keep on moving forward. But there's a particular opportunity here to get away from dangerous relationships, dangerous situations, dangerous environments. So that is the bit where we are opposite Mars with this full moon. This full moon is also square to Pluto. Now, this can lead to a compulsiveness, which can lead to destructive behaviour. Deeply buried feelings tend to come to the surface, and that's what starts all that going. You get emotional power struggles, and it's possible to be quite ruthless, actually. Jealousy gets into the picture, manipulation, guilt tripping, sexual abuse, dare I say it, or bullying comes up. Domestic violence, of course, that goes with that. All those things could be involved, and it's difficult to control, but consciously being aware of those intense emotions, those, you know, that sort of need that we feel sometimes to react in a confrontational kind of way. It isn't good to suppress the strong urge to succeed, really, and you're always going to succeed better the more gentle you can be on the people around you. So real mixed bag of emotions going off there. To really avoid being a victim, it's better to be working for success, but to work for success in a careful way. I can't emphasize this enough. At a full moon, everything in nature is kind of brimming over with energy, so we don't want to overdo that energy. And as I said in Sunday's video from a few days ago, actually, we now have far fewer planets retrograde than we did. Mercury retrograde has actually ended as well. So there's a lot of weight being taken off our shoulders, and it'd be easy to run wild out of control and really sort of go for it. It's positive to go for it, it's positive to get things done, but there is so much energy there that things are going to get a bit overinflated, a bit overblown. So, you know, there we are. It's a question of using it as carefully as you can. Now, there's also a good aspect with the fixed star Alpherg, and that gives preparedness, steadiness, determination, and that is one of the things that really leads towards final success. It's the nature of Saturn and Jupiter, which sort of rules the pineal gland and is related to spiritual development that comes to the fore with Alferd. And it's a star of mysteries, you know. Those with it well placed in their birth charts have ready access to, ready understanding of the mysteries. You know, the church calls them the holy mysteries, but just the divine mysteries. And let's face it, the divine is always a mystery. Otherwise, why would we have it? So, really, the major influence of this full moon on October 20th, 2021 is going to be Mars square Pluto. That's what's really going on. It's a challenging aspect. It creates a very competitive environment, and it can make you very intense in your desire to succeed, and things can get a bit carried away in that direction. It really, really can. But it also gives spiritual development, and you can transform the intense energy of Mars square Pluto into determination, into perseverance that's going to allow you to achieve your most passionate desires, really. And this full moon also, you know, works together with the October 6th new moon, because it's all part of the same cycle. And actually, you know, all the full moons are in some kind of cycle. Next one, like I said earlier, is going to be with a lunar eclipse on November the 19th at 27 degrees of Taurus, 14 minutes. And so it's leading up to that, but it leads on from the energy of that October 6th new moon. That one was conjunct Mars, and that is still bringing energy and passion and initiative to the picture, but unfortunately also anger, violence, revenge, all those things. And that's where it just kind of gets negative, you know. I mean, it's sort of great to put people in their place, you know, if you need to do that. Sometimes good to put yourself in your place as well. But at the same time, you know, that those things are quite negative. It's good to do these things in a positive way, to make your progress in a positive way. The temptation is sort of going in the opposite direction in places here. But at the end of the day, this is a really positive time, you know. It is all about final success. And if that final success doesn't come immediately, it's going to come soon. It's on its way in. So with that, friends, thanks very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button, like I said, because there's more videos coming all the time. Don't forget to drop a like on this one if you've enjoyed it. And why not leave me a comment, guys? We will share the journey, because that's what it's all about. Meanwhile, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon in a future video. Bye-bye.